I hope everyone's doing good today. I just wanted to make a quick video about, hopefully it's quick, about the legalization of drugs. And I just wanted to say that I'm an addict. I've been clean about 17 years. I was a heroin addict. I did cocaine and I did all different types of drugs. I was on methadone for about 15 years, Suboxone, shot cocaine, I did a lot of drugs. So I feel like I keep seeing people that don't really understand the mind of an addict, and they keep making these statements based on their data that they've seen from this country, and that means that this is good. I just want to remind you that we're in 2020 and we still can't even agree on what is the healthiest diet for a human being. So if you really think about that, it just shows how no matter what it is, you're going to have two different versions or even more that are going to provide data and make a case that is climate change is another example. You can find top scientists from all over the world on both ends. They're going to say something different. This guy's going to say, red meat gives you colon cancer. This guy's going to say if you don't eat red meat, you're not going to have the proper nutrients in your body. You're going to get all pasty looking, and then you're going to get all weak and and then they'll provide scientific data, right? So to just assume that this happened in another country, therefore now it's like basically, I mean, it could go a couple ways up, obviously. Let's just say they provide the drugs for the people, okay? There's a lot of drugs. It's not just like one drug. You talk about heroin or whatever, you got PCP, you got ice, you got crack. It goes on forever, the amount of drugs. So what are you going to provide every drug for every single person? And who's going to pay for them drugs? That's another thing. Also, the goal should be to get people off of drugs, mentally healthy, mentally happy, get these people's lives back. Not keep them fucked up their whole fucking life. What do you think's going to happen if you give a heroin addict pharmaceutical heroin? I've been clean for 17 years and I want to try that. It's come on, Mike. Think about it. Are you crazy? You're going to give a heroin addict pharmaceutical heroin, you think that person's going to stop? You're just setting that person up to be shot their whole life. They're shot their whole life. They're done. You might as well just put a bullet in them people's heads, because they're going to be addicted and fucked their whole life, because you're just going to keep giving it to them, and you're never going to give them a chance to get their life back. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I was arrested when I overdosed, and it forced me to start to make a change in my life. And had it not been for that, I may not be alive today, the same way a lot of the people that I grew up with are not. And so that part is a little bit concerning to me. Now, if you don't provide the drugs and you just allow things to be the way they are, but you say, okay, we're not going to arrest you. What I feel is going to happen is you're going to have every drug dealer from all over the place, and then you're going to have violence within that, because they're all going to want to control that area. They're not going to have a drug dealer meeting, and say, okay, Bob, well, you sell crack on Main Street on Friday nights from 7 to 10, and then I will sell the heroin on 15th Avenue Saturday mornings. They're going to end up getting crazy, because that's going to be the place to be to sell drugs. Every drug dealer is going to want to be in this place, because they know that all of these drug addicts are going to want to do. To just assume that you're going to make it legal. I agree that possibly if you make it legal, maybe in a couple generations, people will change. But that has more to do with culture and upbringing. You're not going to take people that are in the throes of addiction, make it legal, and then people are going to just be like, oh, cool. It's going to be like the same thing you see in Los Angeles. You're going to have people that look like zombies wandering through the streets. You're going to have people that are on drugs like PCP that think they could fly off buildings, that are mentally unstable and sexually unstable. Unless you smoked crack, don't comment on this. Like, unless you did that, you don't know. You don't know what goes through your brain. You can think all day long with rose-colored glasses, but when you're all fucked up like that, people get sexually crazy, they get mentally crazy. Now you have these people around your children, around families, around business owners, people that want to go on vacation and go, you have the streets all filled with this. And then you have a police force that has their hands tied behind their back because they can't do anything. So you got to consider that. You have to consider that. I don't think it's a good idea to put people in jail because they're on drugs. I think they do need help. So therefore, but if it's totally, and if there's no laws or anything, nothing's going to force them to even get the help. They're just going to hang out until whatever. I mean, it's so I don't know. I hope people could just forget about the politics. I wish we would have either make it no president or make every time a Democrat and a Republican at the same time. Each one comes up with an idea for whatever subject. Let's say guns. The Republican gives their guns, the Democrat gives their guns, and then you could do a state-by-state vote, and whatever the majority wants for that specific topic, that's the one, maybe go through with that or something like that. But we have to stop with the because I know I'm kind of in the middle. I would say I'm in the middle, slightly to the right in the middle. But there's a lot of Democrat stuff that I do agree with. But then there's stuff like this that I feel like they're just going too far. They're going too far with it. And I feel like it's a little irresponsible to just assume that it's just going to be fine like that, Hopefully we could, things work out, and, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But either way, either the taxpayer pays for it or you have chaos within the system that comes with people on drugs. You have people that are fucked up on drugs, that are mentally unstable, and they need money for drugs, and they're going to do crazy shit. And then you have drug dealers that are going to do crazy shit too. I mean, think about it. I mean, do you really think that that's not going to happen? Because in another country that they gave legal heroin and the numbers went down? Well, I don't know. If you think that, that's fine. I mean, that's whatever. I mean, I do not think that that's how it's going to go. And only time will tell. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. And I appreciate you watching the video. I hope it wasn't too long. And I hope everybody has a good weekend.